Hello, gremlins. Okay, again, I promise, one of these days we won't start in my office, but it's the easiest place to set up my tripod, so that's where it is. Also, my hair is extra poofy because I showered last night, and for some reason it decided to just like when it was drying. But the reason I am here is to start a new vlog. And what's funny is the last vlog was all library books. Like I was like, I'm specifically doing library books because I put in a ton of holds and they all came in like at once. So it was really fun. But one of the books I mentioned in that vlog didn't come in, which I totally expected. It's a new release. So I was like, it's gonna take it a little bit, but it did come in. So this vlog is also just library books, but kind of goofy, random stuff. So I'm gonna get into those in a sec. But if you are new here, my name is Catherine. Hi, these two fingers are always gauzed, at least for right now. I was in a small accident with a snowblower in February. It was on President's Day, and I had to have surgery. I do basically have tips up here, but they're not. One is not my original tip, it's a constructed tip, and the other is partial tip. It's what I didn't lose a lot of the finger, but it's there, and I almost can show you them. So I am not at a point where I'm not allowed to wear gauze yet, but I am at a point where apparently I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on some stuff, and eventually I won't have to wear gauze. And I was given like an estimate of like a week, it looked like, for one of them, and the other one is probably less than a week, and it should be okay, excluding the fact that I have a fingernail that's gonna fall off. It's totally fine. I am fine. They're not painful. I even did physical therapy today without having to take my stuff that I normally take beforehand. I normally take a prescribed ibuprofen before I go, and I didn't today because I forgot, and I actually feel okay, so that's a plus. But anyway, to the books, because again, all library books, not planned, but this is very fun for me because a lot of these are books I really wanted to read. Two specifically, one I swear I have picked up before and put back. So the books for this vlog so far, I may add some things. We'll see. The first one, a very highly anticipated book that I am so excited my hold came in for, is The Lamb by Lucy Rose. I have been freaking salivating? Seems like the wrong word, but chomping at the bit? I don't know. All of that sounds wrong for this book, but I've been so excited for this. This is the first book I'm going to read, so I am going to briefly read you the synopsis because this is definitely the first one I'm reading. A folktale, a horror story, a love story, an enchantment. From an incendiary, new talent, a contemporary, queer folktale about a mother and a daughter living in the woods. Margot and Mama have lived by the forest ever since Margot can remember. When Margot is not at school, they spend quiet days together in their cottage, waiting for strangers to knock on their door. Strays, Mama calls them. People who have strayed too far from the road. Mama loves the strays. She feeds them wine, keeps them warm, then she satisfies her burning appetite by picking apart their bodies. And that's all I'm reading for you. I am so freaking hyped for this because it is not only queer, it involves, I don't know that I can say this word at this point, or the video will get weird things. People eating people vibes. It is a people eating people book. I will say the word later on, but I think I actually am not allowed to say it this early in the video. I don't know. I don't know the rules for that. Sometimes I like say words and I'm like, oh, was I not allowed to say that yet? I don't have, like, I'm just a tiny YouTube channel making silly things, so I don't know that it really matters, but still, I'm just very excited for this. And I'm so excited it came in, but I'm gonna put this down. Oh, I'm gonna show you this book too, but I'm gonna slide it over here so I remember. Next book is The Center by Aisha Manazir Siddiqui. I have heard about this. This has been out for a while, I think. And I did not know my library had it. I had wanted to read this, but hadn't been able to find it. And I just happened to be walking through my library in the S's and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to grab that because I wanted to read it and haven't seen it anywhere. And of course, my library had it. I should have just looked, but it just like slipped my mind. I think maybe at the time it came out, we didn't, like my system didn't have it, but apparently someone must have requested it or something because my local had it. I didn't even have to like request it through interlibrary loan kind of stuff. So I have it. I love this cover. This little Venus flag traps. Okay. I'm not gonna read you the description until I get to it, but the next one is The Center. And then the next one is The Lake House by Sarah Beth Durst. Now, I could swear someone read this in a vlog I watched forever ago, and I thought it sounded really cool, and I did pick it up at the library because it's a YA book, and I don't go up to the YA section very often because it's own. So the library is very cool. It has its own little like YA area with like special doors and there's special seating, and you can hang out in there if you are a teenager. I am not a teenager, so I try not to go in there very often unless I like know there's a book in there that I can just go grab, or if I know it's kind of late in the day and there's not really anyone around, because I just don't want to bother teenagers by coming in there and be like, hi, I'm an adult with purple hair and I like YA books sometimes. So I just kind of wait, try and not go in if there's a ton of kids. They are kids, they're teenagers in there, but occasionally if I can tell there's not really anyone around, I'll pop in. And that also brings me back to a book I read before this vlog started, but I want to tell you about. So I put it over here. I have already read this. I read this over the weekend and just finished it this morning after physical therapy. So I wanted to talk about it. It is called Lucy Uncensored by Mel Hammond and Tegan Hammond, and they are sisters. The characters in the book are not sisters. They are just best friends. But they're basically like sister vibes, if you will. So this story is about Lucy, and Lucy and her friend Callie have always wanted to get into this arts program at a local-ish college. And to audition for this, they've written a play called The Storm, which is a queer retelling of Prospero. Now the problem is their school board is full of dicks. So they shut down the show. I probably wasn't allowed to say that either, whatever. They shut down the show, and then they're kind of scrambling to see what they can do. On top of that, Lucy isn't sure she wants to go to the school they've always thought of going to, because on their college visit, it turns out there are some people from their current high school there, and they just gave Lucy the ick. Now, what you may not know, though these colors kind of give it away a little, Lucy is trans, and Lucy has only recently come out as trans and isn't sure she wants to have to deal with people who know she's trans all the time. So she's also looking at a women's school. I am not going to try and say the name of it, and she's thinking maybe she can fit in there, but isn't sure if she wants people to know she's trans at that school. So maybe she could go there and just live life as a woman and no one would ask her or make her identify herself, because she just kind of wants to blend in somewhere without having to worry about it. Now this story is about identity, understanding who you are, figuring out how you want to live, whether you want to be out and proud or if you're more comfortable being yourself and keeping yourself safe. There is a lot of discussion of safety in this, particularly in regards to Lucy, which makes total sense. But this is so well written and very mature for YA. They are seniors, and also they are seniors who do things I never did when I was in high school. Like go to parties. I didn't go to parties. There's just a lot of like drinking and other stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, teens are wild these days, said the basically ancient old lady. So there's some stuff in here that I was like, wild. But this is so well written. It is a beautifully done story, and it is written by a team, but it's only in Lucy's point of view. So elements of Callie are taken from, is it Mel? I think it's Mel. There's an author's note. I just want to double check that I'm correct. Yes, I think so. Because it has a section on, let me see. Hold on. Painting her nails. Yeah. So Mel is kind of the inspiration for Callie, but the two of them work together, so it is a unified voice. There are some books where I've read with dual authors where it's a dual perspective, and this is my own assumption, assume one author writes one perspective and the other writes the other perspective. But in this case, they work together to write the entire book. So this was very good. I highly recommend. It is a new release from the slip I have from the library that says when it's due, but I'd never heard of this. I know I'm not on my like YA game, but I normally know some decent like YA upcoming releases. I didn't know about this one. So I highly recommend Lucy Uncensored by Hammond. It would just be under Hammond at your library, but I would highly recommend this. Anyway, I think that is it for now. Those are the 3 books plus a book I already read. I wanted to talk about that one because it was really good and it was well done, so I just thought I would present it and you could know about it. But the first book I will be reading is The Lamb, and I'm so freaking excited to read it, and I'll give you descriptions of the other books when I get to them, but I already gave you the synopsis for The Lamb, so get ready for some queer people eating people content. I will not be eating people. I don't do that. Not a thing. If I met a man named Hannibal, I would very firmly walk away. And if, I'm just going to point this out, if you eat food and it is too good to be true, based on other books that I have read, it's probably people. It's Soylent Green, y'all. Soylent Green. Anyway, I'm gonna go before I keep rambling, but I will talk to you gremlins when I have actually read some of The Lamb. So be ready for my excitement because all the reviews I've seen have been incredible. So I will talk to you later, gremlins. Good morning again. We are in the office. It is right before work, and I just finished The Lamb. I just finished it, and oh my gosh, everyone was right. This is so sad. And that was kind of why I like waited to do it because the more I was reading, I was like, oh, I should probably just get to the end before I fill you in, because it's really hard to spoil this. Like, really easy to spoil this, I think. But it's just, oh, so sad. And I feel like I know, so, I think, oh gosh, is it just Erin Megan on YouTube? I could just look. I'm gonna look, hold on. I will get more into the book, but let's see. Yeah, Erin Megan. She hinted that this reminded her of a book, and it does remind me of a book, specifically the ending, but I can't tell you what it is because it would spoil part of this book. I will say it was a popular book a while ago, but oh my gosh, this is just like a gut punch of a book. It's beautifully written, even though there are horrifying things occurring. So I think I'm far enough in the video that I can say, if you hadn't figured this out, I'm sure the people eating people was not very vague, but Margot is a child, so she is very young. She's 11, I think, and she's lived with her mother forever. She and her mother live in this small house, basically in the woods, and in this small house she has lived with her, and her mother has a hunger, and that hunger is for strays, is what she calls them. And they are people. They're people who get lost in the woods, but there's also some more vindictiveness behind this, in that Mama wants food, so she finds a way to get food. There is at some point a woman who arrives named Eden, and Mama is immediately enraptured with Eden and wants Eden to stay, and Eden is totally fine staying, even though she does know what they're doing. And then that really changes everything for Margot. Mama is acting differently. They do frequently call her Little One, so in my brain I occasionally forgot her name and was just like, oh, the Little One. She is our narrator. We are following her completely. This is sapphic in more ways than one, I will say, though one sapphic element is like a childhood crush, which is very sweet. But the book overall is very sad. There's a lot of loss and like coming to terms with grief for a number of things. And I'm just going to phrase it like that because there are deaths in this, but it's a different kind of grief that's being examined with Margot. And again, we are following her with her mama, with the introduction of Eden, and really the life she has always had being changed. But even the life she's always had is a life. It is a life that is secluded, is really tied directly to her mama, and she's really the only person she has. Now, Margot does go to school, which surprised me, so there are some elements of her interacting with other people, but primarily it is her mama and then eventually Eden. But oh my gosh, this was so sad. Really, really beautifully done. I am very curious to see what else Lucy Rose writes, and I know a ton of people didn't like this cover. I actually like it. I don't know why. I like the plants with like the blood and the teeth. I don't know if it makes me like, so in Hannibal there's a lot of food imagery where it's like beautifully prepared food or food being prepared. Maybe that's what it's making me think of. I don't know, but I actually don't mind this cover. I actually think it's kind of cool. I also matched my shirt to it color wise today because I'm going to take a photo of the book. But yes, it's very sad. Be prepared for a gut punch of emotions. But it's so well done. I would highly recommend it. Also, if you didn't like books like Incidents Around the House where a child is our main character, Margot, though a child, is speaking very, it doesn't feel like a child. It does and it doesn't. So don't think that it's going to sound like child speak, or that it may sound odd. I know some people, for Incidents Around the House, didn't like it because the child spoke very childishly because they are a child. Margot may not know everything or know like large words, but Margot is expressing things well, and our writer Lucy Rose is presenting everything in a way that feels very adult. So while you know the main protagonist is a child, it is written maturely enough that I don't think it'll be a problem for anyone. But it was very sad. And now we're moving on to hopefully a less sad book. I'm going to start The Center today during my lunch break. So I love the cover of this. It is so fun. There's little man-eating plants in there, like mini fly traps. But I did not give you a description of this. So welcome to the center. You'll never be the same. Anissa Allahi, sorry, this is more the reflection of my light. I can't see some of the words. Dreams of being a translator of great works of literature, but mostly spends her days subtitling Bollywood movies in her London apartment and living off her parents' generous allowance. Adding to her growing sense of inadequacy, her mediocre white boyfriend Adam has successfully leveraged his savant-level aptitude for languages into an enviable career. When Adam learned to speak Urdu practically overnight, Anissa forces him to reveal his secret. Adam begrudgingly tells Anissa about the center, an elite invite-only program that guarantees complete fluency in any language in just 10 days. That's all I'm gonna read you. There is more, but this is the next one up. I think it's a little shorter, but the book feels bigger. Like the font is bigger. It's about this. It's a little bit smaller technically, but again, I feel like it's a wider book. So I'll be starting this one next. I've been very, very curious about this one for a while, and I'm just excited I saw it at my library. So yeah, I'll be starting this during lunch. I'll let you know. It also kind of matches this shirt. I went with the red flower because I was like, oh, this matches so many books today. So yeah, but I will talk to you later, gremlins. And also I'm going to go get an emotional support coffee because that was so freaking sad. And I need coffee, even though I technically still have coffee, but I need warm coffee. I need a warm hug from a mug because, oh my gosh, the lamb. Anyway, I will talk to you later, gremlins, about hopefully the more upbeat The Center. We'll see. Hello. We will mix it up in the next clip, but I did want to give you some sort of update for The Center because I am still very curious about this book. I am not wildly far in, but going from the lamb to this, oh my goodness. So the structure of this book is that the chapters are primarily very long, like so long. This entire book is like 270-ish pages. It only has 12 chapters. And I was like, maybe there's a part 2. And I was like flipping around and no part 2. It's just really big chapters. And The Lamb has such short chapters that like I am having, like, I want to keep reading, but I feel like I have to take breaks because even during my lunch break, which isn't very long, I was like, oh my goodness. This is just like not like, I was like, this is interesting, but it's very slow. I think I just made it to chapter 4. Let me check. 4. I am 67 pages in and on chapter 4. We have just in chapter 3 really gotten into the presentation of the center aspect of the story. So the chapters are long and it's a little slow. Now, there was this like, the setup of the book was like Adam and the center, like in the first sentence. I was like, oh, and then she's like, but let's go back a little bit. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But I feel like the going back a little bit is a very long, like we're getting a lot of background for Anissa, which I'm totally fine with, but it just feels very, very slow, especially with the chapters being so long. And the problem is, if I had read this first, I don't think it would have been as much of an issue because I went from finishing The Lamb this morning and only reading The Lamb like after work last night, stuff like that, to this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the pacing is so much different. So that's giving me a personal struggle, and it's just because I just went from a book that was very fast, short chapters, keep going, keep going. This is just like background, explanation, details, which are great. A lot of books I'm totally fine with being slow, but it's the shift in pace like within the same day for me that is throwing me off so much. So I am very curious about the center, and we have gotten to the point where like the center has been described more and it's making me even more curious. So I do definitely want to keep reading for sure, but it's just taking me a lot longer. And I feel like during my lunch I would like read and then be like, oh, and then I would go back and I would read. Like I was taking these like micro breaks to like get through some of the longer chapters, and I was like looking for where the next chapter would be just because they are so long. And some of them have the little like, it's a little square to tell you like it's a section break, but I'm like, oh my gosh, why couldn't there be more chapters? Just because like I can't, it's hard to get to like a natural stopping spot, which has been making it a little hard, but I am enjoying it. I am curious to see how the center goes. Sorry, that cough was random. Not really. We had Chipotle for lunch, and I feel like I started coughing after because I had a lot of sour cream in mine, which I'm not complaining about, just a lot of sour cream. But I have decided that in this video, so I am only going to do the 3 books I mentioned, but I'm going to throw in, and this is going to be so goofy and probably not what I'm supposed to do. I got tagged in the Halfway to Halloween tag from Happy Haunts Library, and I was going to do an independent video, but I think I'm going to put it in here because I don't think this vlog is going to be as long as some of my other ones because I'm going to do some stuff this weekend, and I've decided that I want that in a different vlog, so I'm going to end this one kind of early, hopefully. I have to finish my books, that is, but I'm hoping I can get this done by like Friday. And then since I'm doing that, I was like, well, that's faster. And then instead of trying to do like 2 back-to-back videos, I'll just combine them. So I'm going to do these 3 books, which are all kind of eerie, have some creepy stuff going on. So I think they fit with the Halfway to Halloween tag anyway. So again, sorry, Lauren, I'm kind of stretching, I think, but it's getting in this video. But I will put it in here and I'll tag it when I'm done. It'll just be a little goofy. So yes, just want to give you a heads up. I do appreciate that the sweater matches. I did take a photo during lunch. Well, technically before lunch, super fast. I took a photo with the lamb, and I want to still have this on to take a photo with the center. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm taking that photo. I might have Krista take a photo of me, but I need to go. I just wanted to like fill you in super fast. It's just gonna take me a bit. I don't know what we're doing this evening. So Krista doesn't actually have court. She was supposed to have court tonight. Something came up and they've canceled it. So she's coming home, and I don't know if that means she's gonna work on a project or if we're working on a project together or what exactly we're doing. So I may be reading tonight, I may not be. We'll just see how things go. I'll probably sneak in a little bit of reading regardless of what we're doing, but I don't know how much I'm going to get read. So I will update you when I have more on the center, and then I will also be doing the halfway to Halloween tag after I finish the center. That will pop in there, and then I'll do the next book. So just give me not strength. Give my brain the ability to transition to slower moving plots than the lamb, because I am just struggling. Which is not the book's fault, it's totally me. So I need to get like hardcore into it when I can, and just get some more read. It just, the transition from short chapters and like super speedy to like long chapters, slower moving plot is really just throwing me off. And I am enjoying it, so I'm just like, ah. Also, I believe Eat the Ones You Love is out today, and my library system has it, and I tried to request it, but it is not available to me yet. It's at a different library, which makes me think that I can't request it until it's been out for like a month, which is fine because I'm probably going to save it for June because it's sapphic. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to see if I can request it closer to June. Maybe even ask when I drop these off if my library knows when it might be available for a hold, or if they can put it in or something. So yeah, but I'm going to go. I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I am farther or have finished the center. I haven't decided yet. We'll just see how much I can read. But yes, so I'll talk to you in a bit when Anissa has learned a new language, or languages. I don't even know yet because I'm not that far. But yeah, talk to you in a bit, gremlins. Hello! Vaguely different setup, kind of. Okay, so I have two things for you. One, it is nearest the end of my lunch break, and I finished the center. This gets absolutely bonkers. There is a twist that I feel like my warning at the beginning of this video works with remarkably well. I won't remind you what that is, but keep that in mind. We learn how the center works, which is part of the twistiness, and we do get a very interesting ending, I will say. So I do like the layout of this. It did pick up once I got past where I checked in last. Once she gets to the center, Anissa's story gets faster, and what's interesting is her name at the center is Aisha. Just keep that in mind. But I did enjoy this. It did pick up. Also, there are vaguely sapphic moments, which I found very curious and fun. So just throwing that out there. I thought this was a fun time once it picked up. You have to commit, like you have to commit to reading. And I feel like it's kind of the tone of the center, because they do say that a lot of it is language you don't understand. You're like sitting, and it like takes a while for that language to like really cement in your brain, or like for the lesson to like really start working. And I feel like this is it. Like it's a build up to the point where you're like really committed to finishing. So I recommend just, it starts slow. It will make sense why it starts slow once you get to the end. But there is that. I did enjoy adding it to the stack of books I need to take back to the library, which is behind me. I still really love this cover. This is just like such a cool cover. So I really enjoy it. I also like the little plants. There is a lot of mention of plants. Just, there's a lot of plants in the book. That isn't the twist though. But I did say I was going to do the halfway to Halloween tag, which I have a screenshot of on my phone. Okay, so this tag was created by, I almost searched the wrong name, Happy Haunts Library, and she tagged a bunch of people, and so I am going to do it kind of quickly. It's 10 things. I may or may not, actually this is what I'm gonna do. If you see this, if you get to this point in the vlog, you're tagged. You can do the halfway to Halloween tag if you want. If you don't, no one will judge you, but feel free to do it if you're watching this and you want to. So there is that. So I've handled question 10, which is tag people. So you're tagged if you want to be. So let's start at the beginning. So 1, are you a fan of haunted houses? Kind of. So I went in a haunted house when I was really little, and not even a good one, like a crappy, weird, tiny one, because my friend wanted to go in it, and I think I was like 6, I was not very old. I hated it. I was so scared like the entire rest of the night. Like I was so freaked out. I didn't want to do one again. But, sorry, I have a tiny cough. I did go in one with Krista. So Krista actually took me on a haunted hayride near when I moved to upstate New York the first time we went. It wasn't what she remembered. The issue is they changed it a lot because there were restrictions because it was 2020. But near us, they are doing another one that like a new group does one. And it's a haunted hayride, but last year they added a haunted house and we did it together. And it was really fun just to do it with Krista. So it was a lot of fun. Krista is my wife if you haven't figured that out yet. But it was really fun doing the hayride and that with her. Also, on the hayride, this is just funny for me. So like they added a bunch of elements to the hayride and one of them was a tunnel with like flashing lights and banging, and I sometimes get migraines, and so sometimes flashing lights like really bother me. So I had like covered my eyes and was like hunched over to like wait for the flashing lights to stop. And apparently while that was going on, Freddy Krueger was like standing over me thinking I was so freaked out, and he was apparently pretending to poke me with his claws. And when I sat up I was like, oh! But I was like really excited because I love the Freddy Krueger movies. So I'm sure that didn't quite work the way he wanted, but I was like, oh my gosh. And Krista was like, are you okay? And I was like, I wasn't scared. I was just trying to keep from getting a headache. But it was very fun. So, kind of. I'm growing more used to them. Okay, next one. Favorite ghost story or haunted lore? So I do really love The Girl with the Green Ribbon. That's like a very well-known one where she has the green ribbon. The husband constantly asks about it like while they're dating. It also was redone in... The Husband Stitch. I read that in a blog and I can't remember the other. Is it Carmen Maria Machado? Is that it? Did I remember that correctly? I probably didn't. But it's in like The Husband Stitch and Other Stories, something like that. That one is very fun. I also am a fan of like Sleepy Hollow retellings, and that is technically a haunted story. I love a retelling. There are a bunch of queer retellings that I have done in other videos that you should check out because they're really good. One's even a Disney book, like Disney specific. So like The Haunted Horseman, really enjoy that one. And I don't know if this is haunted or not, but I'm gonna include it. I like an Edgar Allan Poe story, so I really like Fall of the House of Usher, and The Black Cat is fun. I was trying to think. Those are like my two top ones. I feel like those are haunted, so I will include those. Do you plan on Halloween decor hunting? So yes, in that I like looking at Halloween decor. I actually try not to buy a ton of stuff. Sometimes we'll go out and we'll just kind of like randomly get a thing just because it like sparks joy. So last year Krista really wanted to get a couple of Headless Horseman pieces and we got them because we really enjoy using them. We actually went to a Headless Horseman event together before we were actually dating. That like the October before we started dating together. So like the Headless Horseman has kind of like a nostalgic, cute little connection for us. So that is like a thing we looked for. I'm not actively looking for anything. I have a lot of decor right now. So not really, but if like something small seems fun, like sometimes if I just see something I'm like, oh, I need to get this. And normally it's like a clothing item at this point. So I'll probably get some Halloween clothes for myself, but I'll probably wait till they're on clearance or if I have a coupon. Let's see, what else? Candy corn, love it or hate it. I do not like actual candy corn, but I do love 1911 candy corn cider and the accompanying candy corn vodka. If you can find it, you should order it if possible. The vodka tastes a lot like candy corn and is very good in a fizzy wine, because it's not technically champagne, but like a champagne sort of cocktail. I made those for Halloween this year and we did like sparkling wine, like sparkling Prosecco and the candy corn vodka, and it was delicious. So that kind of candy corn I do like. I am big into costumes and dressing up. This is tricky. So favorite Halloween costume specifically of all time is Krista and I went as Velma and Daphne together, and that was super fun. So I really like that one. We watched Scooby-Doo movies that night. So I would say that one. But if we venture into the cosplay realm, Krista and I went as Harley and Ivy to Rhode Island Comic Con, and it was incredible. I had so much freaking fun, and we took photos with a giant Audrey 2 puppet, and it was amazing. So that is like the top one, but technically it was cosplay and it was a Halloween costume, but still I'm counting it. Let's see. Oh, we've also done Han and Kira from Solo. That will tie into my Star Wars stuff next month, but that one was really fun. We have only really worn those around the house for like a Star Wars day, but I would love to wear them in the Disney park, even though my Kira jacket is super, super hot. Just throwing that in there. Favorite activity or experience that is on your spooky season bucket list? So on that list is always go to the haunted hayride place. I forget. I think it's like north, North Country Nightmares, because I have a hat, is to go to that. Because it's so much fun. We only normally go once. Sometimes we'll swing by like a second time to just like get food because they have food trucks and it's not too far from our house. So that's definitely on the list. Normally we do a bunch of movie marathons, so that will be on my Halloween list, like certain movie marathons. I feel like that's typically it. Then what book, series, or movie screams Halloween to you? So I always watch, there are very specific things I watch. So the first 3 Halloween Town movies, the 4th movie does not exist, are key. I watch those every year, like in a row. We always watch at least one Scream movie, even though it's not like super Halloween-y, but we always like put on a Scream movie during Halloween, like October. Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2. Krista loves Hocus Pocus 2, so we will definitely watch that at least once. What else? Books is trickier because I don't reread all the time, so like it just depends. I'll kind of just read anything horror during Halloween, like October. So I feel like books are a little trickier for me because I like don't read the same ones every time. What other movies? I always watch Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School and Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. And what else? I watched the Addams Family movies. Those are not specifically Halloween-y to me. they used to be on Freeform every year around Halloween, so I always watch them. Trick or Treat, because Krista and I play Pong with beverages every year, so Trick or Treat. And I am very sure I am missing things, but those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, we also watch all of the Bob's Halloween episodes. That's a key one. Bob's Burgers, we watch all the Halloween ones in order. We normally spend our Halloween night just inside. Sorry. We can't really do trick-or-treaters because of the dogs, so we don't turn our porch light on. We normally leave some candy out by our fence so that kids can grab it because we live in the city. So there's a lot of pedestrian traffic, but if we don't turn our light off, the dogs get kind of stressed out because there's a lot of knocking or doorbell ring. We don't have a doorbell, but they make a lot of noise. So we just like leave candy out. We do though always walk down. There's a huge display that happens at a house a couple of streets over. We always walk down to see it on Halloween because they turn on all the animatronics, they turn on all their lights. It's a very cool experience. So we always do that regardless of whether we have like people over or anything. Sometimes we have like one person who comes by to watch movies. We normally just watch movies and hang out. And then 9, what does Halloween mean to you? I feel like Halloween is like, it's so tricky. I feel like at this point in my life, Halloween is more like an experience and like something to look forward to all year round and like something you can highlight throughout the year in various ways. So it's more of like a community builder than anything else at this point because I like find people who enjoy Halloween and enjoy celebrating or highlighting Halloween throughout the year, and that's really fun. So I just like finding people who also enjoy Halloween. I also just like use the day itself to like relax and enjoy a day that I have fun with my wife. So we always hang out, we always spend time together, we make time for each other on Halloween, even if we have to work or anything like that. So it's very much like a holiday for like rest and enjoyment, and then as a whole it's a connector, like something to connect with people about. And then that is the final question. So I have done it. I will tag this in here, and if you want to do the challenge you can. It's just the halfway to Halloween tag. So there you go. That is everything for this update. We do have one more book left. The final book for this vlog will be The Lake House. This is YA, should not take me very long. And on top of that, I'm wearing my Nevermore sweater because the Wednesday trailer is out. I haven't watched it yet, so I will talk about that at some point, but I will be reading The Lake House to end this vlog. So hopefully we get this vlog up by Friday because I want to start a book for a thing we're doing over the weekend. But I'm excited for this one. I can't believe how slightly connected these last 2 books were. So let's hope that that's not in this one because I did not think that was possible. All of these also have black covers. Like all the books are kind of like themed to each other in an odd way. But yes, so that was the halfway to Halloween tag. That was my The Center update. And now we're on to The Lake House Gremlins. So I'll update you when I have updates on the final book of this vlog. I will see you in a bit. Hi, okay, it's the end of the workday and I, forgot to tell you the synopsis of The Lake House, but the other thing I want to tell you is I did watch the Wednesday trailer and I think it looks fun. The show is like a fun, campy time. It is different from like the Addams Family that I grew up with, even though like you would think they'd be similar, but it just like has a different tone, a different feel. It's a fun time. It's just a fun show. So I am looking forward to the 2nd season. It's I guess split into 2 parts, but the parts are releasing pretty close together, so it's not too bad. Beyond that, I just thought it was fun. One, Pugsley has powers, possibly. And two, Morticia and that like velvet dress with the red lining was incredible. That was gorgeous. Kind of reminded me of a dress I own. It's a costume. It is. It's like a brocade, like a vampire costume. It has like a hood, but it reminded me of that. It's a very uncomfortable dress to wear. It's slightly too small in and of itself, but I cut the back out of it and added laces so I could wear it a long time ago to a Ren fair. And it's still like I can get it on, but it is very hard to get off once I get it on. So cute dress, probably not wearing it very often, but it reminded me of that. The other thing, the synopsis I told you I would do, I will read you that right now. I'm gonna cough. My asthma's been like not acting up. It's been a little goofy. I'm blaming the weather because it's been like cold, then hot, and then cold, and then hot, and then rainy and dry. It's a whole weird nonsense, but I will read you the description for the lake house before I forget, or at least part of it, because later tonight, so it is after work, I have to take the dogs out. I'm gonna be quick. But once they're all situated, I am going to read and hang out at the Nook in our living room while the dogs play, because Krista does have court tonight. It is definitely happening. It's not canceled like yesterday. Different court. But here we go. Claire has grown up cycling through every worst case scenario possible, triple checking locks, counting her steps, second guessing every decision. It's just how she's wired. Her worst case scenarios never actually come true until she arrives at the off the grid summer camp her parents sent her to, only to find a blackened, burned husk where a lodge should be and no survivors. Claire and the other two late arrivals, Reva and Mariana, are the only ones left, with no cell phone service, no electricity, no shelter, and no way back to civilization. Then it becomes very clear none of this is an accident. Something is hunting them. Something that hides in the shadows. Something that refuses to let them leave. If they want to get out of there alive, these three will need to do more than survive. They'll need to unearth the truth, no matter how long it's been buried. Now, this is YA. It like looks hefty, but I'm very, very sure it's not gonna take me long. It's 354 pages. It's a chunky little thing, so I don't think it's gonna take too long. I am gonna start it tonight while I'm hanging with pups. We're gonna watch Holiday Baking Championship, which does not fit the vibe of the show, but Parker loves Holiday Baking Championship. He's our, he's not the youngest dog. He and Kira are from the same litter, but they think she was born like last. So he's technically older than her. It's like with twins. It's minutes probably. But he is very particular about what he can watch and can't watch. And for some reason, Holiday Baking Championship makes him very zen. Like he just like is chill with it on. Other shows not so much, especially if those shows have dogs in them. So we're gonna watch that while I read. And I may or may not imbibe in a cocktail. We'll see. I have this espresso martini that I really want to drink. But I only have one left, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna have anything or not. When Krista gets home, I'm making dinner and I'm actually gonna show you what it is. So I'm gonna show you because it's weird. In terms of what I've been reading, my choice of things to defrost from the freezer is weird. I promise you, it's not people. So just know that going in. But also, like, it's a weird choice. Did I tell you that when I was reading The Lamb, I was starting to crave a hamburger? Yeah, there is something wrong with me, okay? I read a cannibal thing and my brain's like, ooh, you want red meat? Do you want red meat? So I don't even eat a ton of red meat. I eat more of it now. I used to be a vegetarian, but even though I'd had steak on Easter, and normally I don't really want a ton of red meat, I was like, I really want a burger. I want a burger so bad. So we went to this burger place we like called Wayback, and I got a real burger instead of a veggie burger. Their garden burger is exceptional, and I just was like, oh, I want it, but also I really want red meat. So I had that, and then I just like, I was just like, yeah, that's fine. Yesterday I did have no meat. I did a vegetarian lunch and a vegetarian dinner. Not intentionally, just how it worked out. But I was like defrosting this, it's beef. It's like cubed beef or something, I don't know. We've had it in our freezer for a little bit and I was like, oh, I should defrost that. And literally I only thought of that because I was reading The Lamb, which just, something is truly wrong with me. I also craved barbecue while we were watching Yellow Jackets. I don't understand. It's fine. I don't want to eat people. Please know this. I have no desire. It just, ugh. But somehow things about cannibals make me want red meat. Blame Hannibal. I'm blaming Hannibal, the show. They made it look so tasty. Anyway, I'm gonna go before I continue this rant. Krista was like, you want red meat? Aren't you reading about cannibals? And I was like, yes! Shush! But I'm gonna go. I gotta take the dogs out. So I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I'm making dinner, possibly having a cocktail. We shall see. Hello. It has gotten kind of late. Krista is still at court and it's like 7 o'clock, but I've been reading this since I got off work. So I want to give you a little update because I'm about halfway through, a little over halfway. Parker is right next to me and he wants butt scritches. I've also been drinking an espresso martini from Cutwater. It's a canned cocktail thing out of my Wednesday cup while I read, which is just fun. I mean, this is a YA book, so not saying that YA doesn't sometimes involve a lot of thought, but like this one's just like a fun, fast-paced kind of thriller thing. So I feel a little bit more chill about reading it while imbibing a touch. But so far, I don't want to tell you too much because it will definitely spoil it. I will tell you, no one has resorted to cannibalism. I actually took a photo of the page that says, "We haven't resorted to cannibalism yet," or something along those lines because it made me laugh. But I'm just having a fun time. So I will give you little character descriptions. So Claire does definitely worst case scenario everything. She kind of internally just like thinks about every way you can die, every way a bad thing can happen to you all the time. And it sounds like maybe this got worse, possibly after a death in the family. Her parents are still very much alive. I won't tell you who, but possibly it's gotten worse. I can't tell. And then our other two characters, Reva and Mariana, are definitely not what I expected. So I will tell you that Reva is she's a really great MMA fighter and her parents own gyms. And then Mariana loves being a mechanic, is super good at math, but everyone's parents seem to want them to like be exceptional, incredible, like the best of the best. And they've all been sent to this enrichment retreat, which is supposed to be the lake house. And the lake house has been burned down. That's what we know. And then there's, I think this is in the description. Yeah, I'm just kidding. There's a dead body. That's why they're worried about dying. But it's all very like wild. There's a lot of drama that's coming up. It's a lot about survival, like trying to figure out how to survive, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's very fun. It's, again, sorry, YA, so very fast-paced, but oh my gosh. Sorry, I was not planning on coughing like that. I just started having like a coughing fit out of the blue, but it's fun, it's fast-paced, some goofy stuff has happened with like big twists, and that's Krista, who's on her way home. So that's really it. We're watching Holiday Baking Championship. I'm reading, Krista's on her way home, and then I'll make dinner and I will show you dinner, but I will talk to you later, gremlin. Remember how I said I was gonna show you dinner? This is dinner. So ages ago, we used to get these like boxes that just had like random proteins and produce in them. And one of the things that I froze is apparently chipped beef. Another time it was stew beef. I know it doesn't look very pretty, but this is chipped beef with a lot of butter, salt, pepper, and then this Sir Wellington seasoning that Krista picked up online. I don't know. But I'm basically just cooking it in a lot of butter. And I'm gonna make instant potatoes, so I'm just boiling water. But that's what I'm making. You can blame all the people eating people books for my desire for red meat. And again, I blame Hannibal. Like, I don't know why. Hannibal makes everything look beautiful. Like all the food on that show, beautiful. There's actually a Hannibal cookbook that eventually I want to get. And I just need to get it because I want the recipes from that show that don't involve people. The actual recipes don't involve people. They're technically regular recipes. Hannibal just does his own creepy thing with them. But that's what I'm cooking. Still really enjoying the book. Just letting you know, but I am cooking dinner now. So that's what I'm doing. I probably won't talk to you till tomorrow morning, and then I'll also finish the lake house at that point, but I'm gonna go while I boil my beef in butter. So talk to you later, gremlins. When things are less food themed, probably less food themed. Very coffee themed at that point tomorrow, but not food themed. Hello. You may be thinking, Catherine, why are we in your bathroom? I have a good answer for this. I'm a little flushed. I don't know why. Actually, I'm a little warm, but then also cold. It's a whole thing, so I'm a little flushed. But yes, we're in our bathroom because I want to show you some of the stuff Krista has done since the last time I showed the bathroom. So Krista has been working on our bathroom. She's been doing a whole Tiana theme. You're not gonna see me for a sec. And in the Tiana theme, yes, this is also a functioning bathroom, so there's like stuff. But she swapped out this light fixture. She also finished this like accent wall, so it goes all the way down to the floor. And then she swapped out the sink and we added some things. So it's Princess and the Frog theme, so there's like a little Tiana light. We found this at Walmart randomly and decided to get it. It's also a light. See? It does different colors. We have a little princess thing. Then she did a bunch of tiling. So that's all tile. Salem is very interested in what I'm doing. And then she did this back wall, which she said the tiles were really annoying to work with, but it looks nice. This wall is getting painted green, but not this color green. We just haven't painted it yet because she hasn't had time. She also, please don't judge the floor. We have cats and they throw things everywhere. But this is the floor. She did the entire floor for the bathroom. And she changed out the knobs on all of our cabinets so that like fit the theme. And then she got us these little stands and these little storage containers. And then this is the latest thing. Again, this is an open closet that just has stuff shoved in it. But she did a new light and I think it's really cool. But it looks super nice. She's doing, hi, switch is back. She's doing a few more things. So we're gonna walk. Oh, I need to turn these lights off. Okay, ready for darkness. Dark. Dark. Final light. Dark. So yes, I did promise to show that because I was telling her I wanted to show you the updated stuff. Yeah, there's boxes behind me. Those are from the project. I should move my phone down, or my camera down. Oh boy. I have not started work yet, but I opened some stuff for work and it's gonna be a day. A day is what it's going to be. So yes, I did want to show you the bathroom. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that I have to do this morning. So yeah, but this is actually the final clip of the vlog, surprisingly. Kind of related to the book, I'm wearing a Protect Our Forest and it's Ewoks, and I'm using an Endor cup because I'm actually probably gonna start another vlog kind of soon after this. Possibly tonight, so it's Star Wars themed and thus the Star Wars outfit. But I finished the lake house. This gets very horror. It takes it a little bit to get there, but it does. So there is a horror element, and I told you about the characters already. You know there's a killer, so there are people besides the 3 girls on this spot, I will say. This spot off the lake, and it gets very creepy. They find some things that hint at something being held captive, possibly, and then the story kind of unfolds from there. They are consistently in danger. Characters they thought they could trust who appeared briefly come back up, and then it's dangerous. So yeah, the whole book does get very creepy. And then oddly enough, while I did not do this on purpose because I couldn't have known this, all 3 of these books in some capacity have to do with consumption. Either physical consumption, consumption of knowledge, kind of a spiritual consumption, if you will. Like, it's all about consuming something or someone's experience, their life, all of that, which was not planned. Also, 2 of the books were even more related than I expected. But I just didn't anticipate that, so it's very interesting that they all did have a general theme, besides the fact that they randomly all had kind of black covers, which again was not planned, just how it worked out. But I was like reading and I was like, everything is technically in theme. So it was just very interesting to read through. So I appreciate that there was surprisingly that theme of consuming, consumption, the consuming of something that will change your life in a way, whether it's again a physical consumption or some kind of like mental kind of thing. But yeah, it was so interesting. I did not plan for these to be associated things, so that was very cool for me. I just really enjoyed all of these books, actually. The lake house did like get pretty creepy near the end, so it went from like kind of not popcorn thriller but like thriller-y to horror, and then it all just oddly felt very Yellow Jackets coded because they're stranded, they have to survive, and then with everything else I had read involving other things, I was just like, oh, this video feels very Yellow Jackets coded, which is not going to be the title of the video. But I did thoroughly enjoy myself, and this was a pretty quick one. I also did the halfway to Halloween tag, which was also fun. But yeah, this was not a long video. It was a fun video. I managed to read 3 books in 3 days, which is surprising for me because that does not always happen. But yeah, so I'm going to drink a little bit more of my coffee and then get into what looks like going like a long day. It looks like it's going to be a long day for me. So yeah, so it's a good thing that I finished this because it doesn't look like I would have had any time, even remotely, to talk to you until the end of the workday. So yeah, I will, let's see, what did we read? Really quick, as a recap. We read The Lamb, we read The Center, we read The Lake House, all of which had "the" in the title. So many connections. Though overall, the theme of consumption, tied them all together, and not like the consumption, but like consuming. So strange. There are so many like black covers, the in the title, themes that involve some level of consuming. So very cool that it all just kind of related to each other. But I did enjoy all of them. I think The Lamb is tentatively on my favorite books of the year. I've been checking books off that I think will like go into that. I circle them and I'll come back to them later in the year. But yeah, I'm having a good reading time. I am very curious to start my next book tonight, not anytime during lunch because I'm going to be too tired, I think. So yeah, I will see you in the next one, gremlins. Bye.